Hi guys and welcome to a new episode. Today we have Lucas, a Brazilian guy who is now living in Australia. Graduated as an engineer and works as a drafter. Let's understand a little bit more his story with me today. Hope you enjoy it. How are you, Lucas? Welcome to Building Roots Abroad.
Hey G, how are you going? I'm good. Firstly, I would like to say that I'm very happy to be here and I'm very happy that you're starting this new project. I wish all the best for you and
Thank you.
For your project.
And just tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, about like the work you're doing here, how long have you been in Australia for, and things like that.
Yeah, so that has been 5 years. I'm living in Australia. I have a bachelor degree of civil engineering back in Brazil, and I'm currently in work as a draftsperson for a steelcraft company.
Nice. And starting off, why did you choose to have an experience abroad?
So when I was a teenager, my father, he always taught me about the importance of learning English, and as well as I had an uncle who, when I was 10 years old, he went to Europe to live there. So I grew up with this experience of having someone close by and sharing his experience. So I was kind of like dreaming of how it was to live abroad and how it would be to meet people from other countries. And yeah, so that dream was always inside me.
That's so cool. So then you would say like you decided to move abroad because you're inspired by your uncle, but also to learn English.
Yeah. So both situations. He always used to come on holidays to our hometown, and when he used to tell stories about how I was there, and like I used to keep dreaming pictures he could share or his stories. So yeah, like I always want to know people from other countries, like other cultures, and yeah, when I had the opportunity, I decided to go. Yeah, and your family, like you have your uncle, but also your brother, and then part of your family in Europe, specifically in Germany. Why did you decide to come to Australia then and not like in Europe, maybe like in a country that also speak English a bit closer to them? So when I was about to conclude my Bachelor of Civil Engineering and I was planning what I would do, if I would focus on my career, I considered going to Germany, but I thought that I couldn't live in a place so much cold, you know?
Yeah, Germany must be very cold compared to Australia.
It looks like not such a big thing, but for me it is. And as we were saying, English was something that I always want to learn. I always want to have the fluency speaking English. Living in a country where English is the main language would be better for me. So yeah, I decided for Australia. Yeah. And also, going by yourself to a place that you don't know anyone, it makes you getting out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Whereas if I was in Germany, I would have more support, which is great. Like it's always different to have a support. Yeah. But it's also good to getting out of your comfort zone and trying to do new things. Yeah. So it's very cool that he had the opportunity to go to a place in Europe and then learn English, maybe like in Dublin or something like close to your family, but then you decided to come a bit far. One, like first for the weather, I guess, because I think some people call it like weather shock, which is like when you move to a country that the weather is very different than the one you used to be. So I think for us here in Australia, coming from Brazil, is very similar weather. So I don't think we get any weather shock on that, because even like we have Christmas on summer like we do in Brazil, we have kind of the same, while in Europe is completely the opposite. So I think that's a big thing that some people don't consider when they move abroad. And also it's very important what he said about like going to a new country just by yourself, because of course it's a different experience. Like if you go to another country it's already hard, but if you have your family, it's kind of half of the things that you will develop you kind of don't, because you already have people doing stuff to you. So yeah, I think it's very brave, your decision, and yeah. I believe you know what I'm talking about, because you did the same, right? You came to a place without knowing anyone. Yeah. But yeah, when I was thinking about going, we have to imagine ourselves living on the place. So I couldn't imagine myself living in a place like 9 months cold weather, like especially because he's from the coast of Brazil, so he already had that on his routine, which he does have that here. And then also like he has a hobby as like surfing. So you kind of cannot do that if 9 months of your year will be like cold.
Yeah, interesting. And how was your journey to go in a English speaking country? Like how did you start learning? Was that very hard to you? What did you do to like improve your English and everything and become like working your field now speaking your second language?
So yeah, I had studied English back in Brazil, so I kind of have like a basic English. So I knew a few vocabulary, but I didn't have fluency at all. And when I came here and then start going to English school, start having to waking up thinking in English.
Yeah.
You start consuming things in English. So you start realizing that you now are formulating sentences, all these things. It was such a magic moment, you know. English school was amazing. It's the place that you build nice friendships.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you are not still working in a professional area, when you're not thinking about other things, you have more time to do this.
Yeah. I think also when we moved abroad without like, because both of us, we didn't come here because we got transferred to a new company. We literally started a new life. So you have that specific break that you feel like, not that you're in holidays, but this English school moment is very different because you build a lot of relationships. Like we met in the English school, and you kind of share a lot with international people. And I think it's a very chill way to learn the language because you do like a lot of activities, you travel together and you kind of start sharing life with international people. And if you don't speak English, you cannot do anything. So push you very hard to start learning the language.
Yeah, that's what you said. It's completely essential. Like if you want to learn a language, don't do it as an obligation. So start consuming things that you love, that you have passion about. So the language will come to your mind as something nice, you know, not as an obligation. So start living with people, going for trips, doing things that you like, but also having to have the English mind. So it helps to improve your language.
Vocabulary. Yeah. Very cool. So talking about a bit like work now, you graduated as a civil engineering back home, transitioning from civil engineering in Brazil to start living abroad. Did you have to do any like different type of job when you came to Australia because you were still like developing your language skills? How was that for you? It was very like a shock to, I was a civil engineer back home, but now I'm like doing other types of jobs because I cannot communicate super well yet. How was this transition for you?
So yeah, before coming here, we start like planning our trip. We start seeing videos of other people who are already living there. So you kind of have to have your mind open to be ready to do other things that we've never done before. So I was very open to work with all the activities that I've done. So yeah, I've worked as a laborer. I worked installing floating floorings at people's house. I worked in a call center. So like things that I've never thought before back home. But when you are here as people who come abroad, you need to do it. And it was amazing because I've learned so much with all specific jobs. I learned something new, you know. It doesn't matter what you are doing, you can get something positive for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think the call center is a very important one because I also did work in a call center in the university I was studying. And I think for me, and I think also for him, you develop a very, like, your English gets better because people needs to understand you on the phone without, like, kind of like a podcast now, but without seeing your body language, without kind of like seeing you. So it's very hard. And then also most of people that you're going to be talking with, they will be Australian. So then you kind of get a little bit of the accent and your listening skills improve a lot. And then you need to make that person understand you. So I think it's one of the best jobs. Like, of course, it's not comfortable as a job. It's terrible, I would say, in the beginning, because you feel so overwhelmed. Like, I remember answering, I think you're the same, like 40 calls a day, and then you just don't want to speak with anyone in the end of the day. But after you, as you said, you can see the results, like, oh, I got so much out of it, even if the daily life, I was just like exhausted, like reflecting about my decisions and everything. So yeah, it's very good. I think even like delivery,
is very cool because you think you're just like delivering food, but maybe you're more about restaurants, talking to people, knowing more about streets in the city. So I think all jobs when you're in a new place, they're worth it because you're gonna learn something because you're just completely fresh and new in that place. So yeah, I think it's a good.
Yeah, as I say, it's up to us to take the best that we can take. And just say we're talking about the language. Yeah, we got our fluency, but I believe that we always have something to learn. And I consider myself still a beginner of the English language. You know?
Yeah.
We always have something, a vocabulary to learn.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially like when you're talking to a native person, it's different.
Yeah.
So this type of vocabulary and how to understand what they're saying is just when you are living.
Yeah, when you live in the country.
Yeah.
That's true, because sometimes you do a lot of experience with other international people, but they also have their accents. So I think the real life starts when you actually have that experience with, in this case, Australians or the native speakers from that language. And then you kind of start understanding how people talk, because in English school, yeah, we learned a lot, but at the same time, like some expressions, of course, like a Spanish student wouldn't know as well. And then when you start your life with Australians, in our case, then you start saying like, oh yeah, because back in the day, like you don't say in the past, you know, you kind of start getting the fluency. So I agree with him, like you never stop learning, because I think that's what communication is all about. You need to listen a lot of people and keep doing your things, because we didn't grow up here. So of course we don't have the whole like vocabulary, and we have a lot to learn always.
Mm-hmm.
I think in any language. Yeah. Transitioning your career as engineer, like a civil engineering back home, to become a draftsperson in Australia. How was it? How was like your decision to go in that field? Because I imagine like it's not exactly the same as you did in Brazil. So how was the journey like for you?
I was searching for a course related to civil engineering here in Australia. I had first done a carpentry course, so I studied 1 year to become a carpenter. It's such a good area because it's on demand. You can get jobs with more like
easier,
yeah,
more employability.
Yeah. And when I was in the field, after 1 year, I started to realize that it wasn't what I really wanted. Sometimes we need to dive in the pathway. We need to be there so that we can realize that. And I kind of started looking for something more related to civil engineering, in which I could deal with softwares, that I could design elements for structural steel or something related to this area.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a civil construction design and engineering technical course that would give me this possibility to start working as a drafter. So yeah, I quit the carpenter life. Yeah. Then I engaged on this new area. It was more related to what I wanted.
Yeah, I think that's very good, because here sometimes, especially as like immigrants, I think I speak for all of us and also a lot of friends of mine, when we decided to stay in Australia, which was his case, like we finished the English school and then we realized, oh, I want to stay a little bit more. We start like searching for maybe courses or things that we can do that we're going to have like higher employability, that we can actually work in. Because I believe to be an engineer, I'm talking about also other friends of mine, you have to do a lot of like diploma recognition. The pathway is a bit like harder, I guess. And also you wanted to learn new things. So it's very nice that you decided to go to carpenter, because it's related to the construction field that you already had experience in, but then also have the realization that you don't want to do that for your life and then change your course. For those who doesn't know, like here in Australia, as like an international student, it's very hard to like stop like a pathway, because then you have to cancel your course, but also cancel your visa or starting like a whole new thing. So of course I was close to him when that happened, so I know how brave he was. But sometimes we just stay in the same course because we don't want to cancel the course, or because we don't want to like, I already spent that money, or because we don't want to like start a new visa again and apply again for a different course. So I think him having like this feeling that carpenter was not for him, and then going out there and finding another course, is very smart. Because I think sometimes we don't want to start everything again, but you just like go steps backwards to then go even more forward in the future. I believe now if you were a full carpenter, you won't be that happy as you are now as like detailer, working with the softwares and everything. So for me, this is actually a life lesson. You don't need to push yourself if that thing was not for you, you know, and you did that.
Yeah, you explained really well what happened. So after this 1 year in which I learned a lot, as I wasn't seeing myself anymore doing that, and I had people telling me, man, just continue the course,
Yeah,
continue 1 year, study, and then
at least finish
try to get the visa, like spending 3-4 years in that life. But I said, it's not what I want. Can't continue like that. You know, I want to find something that I will enjoy. When you are doing something that we enjoy, we go there every day happy with. And when I changed the course and start dealing with different softwares, working in front of the computers, and I said, oh, that's what I want, and that's what I'm gonna continue now.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful because knowing you so well, I really saw this switch, like when you switch to the draftsperson course, because as he said, like when you do what you like, you get so much more motivation, because of course it's not easy to be a draftsperson. It's not easy to go through the course, but he made it because he was very like passionate about the transition from carpenter to the draftsperson field. And also another very important point, people probably don't know, but I think is a very good context. And for those who already live in Australia, probably will relate to this. Here we have like this thing about getting the visa, and the visa pathway and how we're going to become permanent resident. And sometimes it's very like, I would say it's very sad the way people approach this, because for example he was already studying as a carpenter, like to go through that pathway. So then I remember people saying like, keep doing the course, get the permanent resident, and then you go and become a civil engineer. And they don't say that just for him, they say that for everyone, like, oh, you really want to be a journalist, first become a chef, do everything, and then you're gonna be a journalist. So like, why I have to give 7 years of my life doing something that I hate, because then I will be Australian and I will do what I want. So I just want to bring that up here because I know thousands of people that did the opposite of what he did and doesn't work, you know. Like I think the way he decided to go about his life is very important lesson from like out of this episode, because yeah, now he's very, very, I think, happy with his career and everything. And I saw myself, like, he was studying every weekend when he was doing the draftsperson course, because it was something that he was passionate, you know, and that's like amazing. It's not that it was easier to become a draftsperson. It was just more like more pleasure, more passion. And yeah, he kind of didn't have that when he was doing carpentry. So
yeah, it's completely important to kind of filter what we hear from people, to filter what we consume on internet, because we are getting data and information every day. So we need to know what is best for us.
Which is very hard.
Yeah, sometimes we need to know ourselves to know about that. And yeah, you mentioned about when I was studying drafter, you were still in QT.
Yeah, I was still like, at uni.
At unis. And yeah, it's also a good moment because we kind of create a study group and one influenced each other to study. And yeah, I remember specifically well about that moment, and it was completely important to get the job that I have nowadays.
Yeah, talking about the job you got, how did you get your first job? Like how you started your career as a draftsperson?
So yeah, when I was doing that course, I was kind of focusing on getting the job as a drafter, and I was applying for jobs every day through LinkedIn, through Seek.com. And a classmate, she opened up my mind about the importance of working in the civil construction area. On the company that I'm working nowadays, they were looking for an estimator. So I applied for the estimator job, even though it wasn't what I was focusing on. She helped me a lot to realize the importance of being in the area, working in the field, and then things would be easier to get a job as a drafter. So I applied for the estimator position, and it was funny because during that week, I would go to Germany. So I had to let my boss know that I was very keen on getting that job, but I couldn't postpone that trip because there had been 4 years without seeing my family. And so I was kind of not putting expectations. And then when I was there about to come back here to Australia, he sent me an SMS. Hey, Lucas, I hope you had a great time with your family. And when you come back, please see me so that you can start the job. So yeah,
nice.
I was very happy about that.
Yeah, I think two nice things like your friend, because I think he built the networking with her, which is very important here in Australia. Like, I don't know many people that got the job from LinkedIn, for example, or from Seek. I know most people they got through networking, even like company jobs, like office jobs or hospitality. It's very common that you know a friend that know a friend, which happened to him. And I think the other very important thing is like his friend saying, oh, we have an estimator position is not 100% what you want to work with, I guess. But the fact that you're going to be in the company is already like heaps of steps ahead. And then you can probably become like a detailer, which actually happened after having some experience as an estimator in that company. And the third thing I think very nice is like being just honest with your boss, like with your manager, with the hiring manager. Oh yeah, I have this trip. I really miss my family. It's been 4 years. And then kind of like leave that to the universe and it actually work it out for you. I imagine receiving the message, just reach me out when you come back, the job, like you're going to get the job. I would be very, very happy.
Yeah. As you said, networking here, not only here, like everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely important. All the jobs that I got here, it was through someone who helped me to get that.
Yeah.
And also, being honest, just do what you can do your best, trying to build relationships with people, focus on gaining skills, knowledge for your career.
Yeah.
And things will happen.
Will come.
Yeah.
Nice. So on top of this talk about how you got your first job as a draftsperson and everything, what exactly you do in your daily life? Like, what is the job about? And then also just to make sure everyone listening understand the relation with civil engineering.
So I'm currently working building the house frames. Here in Australia, the frames of the house are basically made by timber or light gauge steel frame. So I work for a steel frame company and we use softwares to design the 3D model of the house frames so that we can have a better visualization of how it's going to be. We create the plans and the drawings so that the fabricators downstairs can build up all the house and assemble and we can deliver the site construction.
So you kind of like build with your team the 3D model and then you have to send that, when you say downstairs, like you send that to other section of your company who will build the materials and the stuff to actually build the house. So you kind of like design all the structure and then you send to other teams to make it like work.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So you have you seen like in real life, like a 3D model that you created, how it became in real life, the house?
Yeah, we had the opportunity to visit some jobs.
So we went to project?
We went to the construction site to see the house there built.
Nice.
So it's pretty nice to see something that we saw on the computer in the real life.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I think that's what, like, when you're a kid and you say, oh, I want to be an engineer, I think that's what you mean. I feel like you design the house or the building and then you have the opportunity to see in real life. But it's also, I imagine, a lot of responsibility because if you create something wrong on the 3D model, they will build like maybe a window a little bit weird. How is that for you? Do you feel it's a very like high responsibility kind of position or?
For sure, yeah. Working the construction area, we have to be precise, as much precise as we can. So that's why we always have an interaction with the engineer, with supervisors. We deal with builders and making sure that everything is going to be according to the plan. Everything is
Yeah, it's very calculated. So then everyone is connected to make the house possible. That's very good. There is any like challenges in your position now? Do you think from the fact that you came here to learn English and then you got in the field, how you feel about like your English level, that it was the reason why you came to Australia, or how you feel about your work position now?
I'm very satisfied about what is happening in my life nowadays, especially for my career. I love working there. I love gaining new knowledge every day. I'm searching for that to evolve, to develop. And yeah, when you start working in your construction, you have to learn the vocabulary related to your field as well. So it was something that I just got basically there.
Yeah, because when you're talking about what you do, there were like a lot of vocabularies that is very specific that I'm like, oh, okay, like I don't know. So it's very interesting that you actually have that level of vocabulary as well by like working here.
Yeah, because as we have to discuss about the job, we have to talk to the other companies, to the builders. We need to know what we are talking about. So the vocabulary is very important to know what they're also talking about and what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool. And now just like more questions about like comparing Brazil and Australia. Do you feel like living here changed a lot, like your personality or maybe your way of life, even your goals? Like, how do you feel? Of course, like it's been 5 years, so you kind of grow up anyways, but comparing your life in the two countries, what changed for you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe when you are here and you are far from the whole culture that you are in, it makes you start engaging in new activities. You want to do something new and you start planning your life and deciding what is priority, focusing on other things. So for example, caring about your health, having a hobby, not just focusing on in your professional life, because you realize that you have a life to live.
Yeah, I think it's very important because I know him for a long time, and I remember like even me and our kind of like friends community, we used to work a lot. Like we used to work, I don't know, 7 days a week sometimes because we had a lot of like visas and stuff to pay. So then in that moment, you're just in that kind of like mindset. And I remember when we all kind of switched this, and I remember even you saying like, I want to have my weekends off, because even talking about myself, I used to have like the job for the weekdays and the job for the weekend. And I was like, oh, in that visa, I can work more. So then I will have a second job. And I remember him specifically saying, no, I really like value my weekend off. And I think that's how you started your whole hobby about like surfing. And it's also such a like an inspiration way, because then you live more in the present. You're just not like planning. You're kind of living Australia for real, not just like the visa and career part of Australia, but the nice part of Australia, which is like the coast, the surf, and whatever you want to do with your free time.
Yeah, as you said, after I guess 4 years, I finally had my weekends off. So I got the job to work from Monday to Friday.
Like an office job.
Yeah. And then it gave me the opportunity to have 2 days, especially on the weekends, to do something that I wanted, you know. I realized that I wanted to enjoy as well. The importance about the balance and enjoying my weekend also helped me with my job, because on Monday when I was there, I was completely renewed. I was completely fresh. Exactly. If I had, for example, focused on getting another job and earning more money, which is good. Yeah. On Monday, for example, I would be there tired. I wouldn't be wanting to focus because I wouldn't have rested. I wouldn't have like done something different, you know?
Yeah, true. Just like for people listening, how was like starting surfing here? Was that hard for you? Because I believe you started here. Even if you used to live in the coast back home, you started this hobby, very Australian hobby, by the way. Yeah. Here, how was this for you?
Yeah, surfing was also like a teenager dream. So I had gone once when I was a teenager with a friend, and he knew already how to surf, and I spent the whole day on the beach and I failed the whole time. I tried to stand and I failed, and then I didn't try anymore. And this is when I was a teenager. I had the whole opportunity.
You had the whole life and you're like, okay, I'm not good on this.
Yeah, I didn't try to go anymore. And here when I finally had these weekends off, and I was on the beach with other friends, both of them, they surf. And they were talking about that. And I said, I don't want to postpone that. I really want to have the experience of standing on the wave, enjoying that moment of surfing the wave, you know. I won't postpone it. So I just bought the surfboard and started learning.
Yeah, and now he's like very pro, I guess. I've seen it's very nice because sometimes we go out, like we all go to the beach together. And even if I think from our little group, he's the only one that is fully like surfing now. It's very cool to see him in the middle of the ocean. I think it's such a connection with the nature because like you don't have anything around you. You just have like the sea and sometimes not even other people. It's such a nice way to start pushing yourself because I know it was not easy for you. Obviously you had the teenager episode.
Yeah.
So then yeah, it's very cool that you could even like keep doing this. And I also, want you to share when you like saw your first shark, because Australia is very famous to have like sharks and everyone's very afraid to go to the sea, the ocean. I even know a guy that got unfortunately injured by a shark, but was not his case. How was like your shark experience?
Yeah, but firstly, as you said,
Yeah.
it's amazing surfing because you feel connected with the ocean.
Yeah.
You keep active. So
Yeah, it's very fit. You get fit.
yeah, and it's nice. You are near nature. You breathe. You are more present to the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like things that I had kind of lost when you are in that movement of
International
walking.
student
Yeah,
life. Yeah.
yeah. So about the shark experience. So it was recently, so 3 weeks ago, after there has been 1 year that I started surfing, and I was there in the ocean. There was one guy next to me and a kind of another couple, and I saw like that thing on a wave, and I said, "Man, that's a shark." I kind of frozen at the moment, and then the guy next to me, he at the same time, shark. So we realizing we left the water at the same time. We advised the lifeguards, and then they remove all the swimmers that was on the moment. But yeah,
So you already even saw a shark, which is very
Yeah.
like interesting because everyone in Australia says, "Oh, we have like so many sharks," and he actually saw that
yeah.
surfing. I think also it's very scary, but it's such a good experience to I think to remember.
Yeah.
It's the
Like,
full experience.
I even asked the guy, "Man, don't you think it was like a dolphin?" And then he said, "Man, no, because like dolphin, they usually are here doing these movements. That
Yeah,
was
they like floor more,
Yeah.
while sharks more like
it was like linear to the wave."
yeah.
So yeah,
That's cool.
I expect that I don't see anymore.
Yeah,
really
me
hope.
too. I really hope.
But luckily, I went to a beach that I don't usually go. So it was a random beach that it's not the one that I usually go. I won't surf here anymore, you know?
Yeah, you go just to the usual places, you don't
Yeah.
see any sharks,
Yeah.
which is better. Nice. So I think just to wrap up the whole episode, talking about building roots abroad, which is the name of our podcast.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Like what building your roots abroad mean to you? Do you feel you are building your roots abroad now, or like your roots are in Brazil and that's it? How do you feel about this concept?
Australia has definitely a space in my life now. Like there has been 5 years, so much experience.
You
And
feel attached to
yeah, I
the
feel
country?
completely connected here. I like Australians. The all the experience that I had, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm expecting to continue living here. I'll be soon applying for a new visa, and I've managed to meet some special people here.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about roots, I think I can say that Brazil will always be my roots. I'm always in contact with my family, my friends from there. I'm always like
Missing them.
missing them, like expecting to go there on holidays. Like, yeah, I really want to continue living here, focus on my career, but like roots and these things is like Brazil. But for sure, Australia, if one day I go back to Brazil, it will have had like a
Big
huge
portion
part.
of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you feel you built like your community here? Like you have a community? How do you feel about the community part of your life?
Yeah. So as we're talking about surfing nowadays, I have many surfers friends.
Nice.
So that's the community I'm dealing with.
Yeah, you spend more time with?
Yeah, like on the weekend. I don't think I can say that I have a Australian community. So I hang out with Australians. I go out with like, for example, surfers now that I started this hobby, and also international students, because we are always connecting with people that we have
things in common.
things in common.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I think the biggest question to wrap up everything, do you feel you're gonna build your roots here? I know you already mentioned you're gonna stay for long, but you feel like this is your place, or maybe after a while you just wanna go to Germany and stay with your family, or go to Brazil. Like, I know you probably don't know 100% because we never know, but do you think Australia is the place you're going to build your roots in the future?
Yeah, my intention is to continue living here and building our roots here. It's completely important. I don't think someone would be able to live many years on a place without realizing or feeling that it's part of that community.
Yeah.
I would say that, like, I also think about the people from Brazil, from Germany, my family, friends, everyone who is still there. But I have some desires to continue being here and building my life here.
In Australia.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So I think we can close the episode now. I think we got a lot of insights from our talk about like changing your careers and then building your career path in different ways and also be resilient with the language and everything. Do you have anything else to share with us before we close the episode? Anything that you would like to share?
I just would like to say that I'm very happy to be here. I hope that if someone who is watching can have had like a positive something to take for his life, her life. And yeah, living abroad is definitely a real challenge to you. But if it is something that you if it is something that you always dreamed about, just go for it. Don't try to postpone it, because at the end we have to do things that fulfill our inner,
Yeah, our inner self.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. So thank you very much for being here. And also, I'm pretty sure whoever is listening the episode and want to ask anything to him or would like any networking out of this, you can reach out to him on LinkedIn, I guess. And then you can ask all your questions to Lucas straight away.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being part of this episode. And I see you guys soon.
Thank you.